G'day, mate. Welcome to Friday Facts 355. We've got high resolution updates, and I don't know. I've got no intro for Mojo this week.
Yeah, it's just like your internet, your intro's gone.
Yeah, everything's gone. So I will just add really quickly at the start. This video has no intros, no outros, no nothing, because my ISP, no, the company that owns the copper in the ground that my ISP rents so they can charge me for internet access, disconnected my internet. And I have no internet, hence I'm doing everything on a mobile phone currently, which is not nearly unlimited. So we're going with small file sizes and quick and easy Friday Facts. Also, technically this Friday Facts has been out like 20 minutes? Half hour? Half hour.
Half an hour, I think.
Yeah. So, Friday Facts, high resolution updates. This is going to be a quick one. So we've been updating, working, and redesigning mini graphics. The majority of entities had a high resolution for a while now. With 1.0, we're trying to be as complete as feasible. We're going to come back to that sentence. So the slowdown effect. As one of the less used items in the game, the slowdown capsule has kind of got forgotten, like the poison capsule, which also kind of got forgotten.
It's kind of useless mostly because there was so many other options. It just sort of fell aside. I mean, it's kind of useful, but there was always so many other choices. It always ended up being one of those lesser used ones.
It's one of those things that if you're in a tank, and this is really the main use for it. If you're in a tank with two players, one can throw poison capsules, one can throw slowdown capsules. Really, really good at killing behemoths because the poison actually has enough time to have a reaction on them and do significant damage. But apart from that, maybe when you're running for your life, like Biters did get a speed update in 17 when they got their new graphics. So they are a lot faster now, but even then, yeah, the slowdown capsules pretty useless.
Yeah, generally you tend to gravitate towards items that do DPS rather than something that slows them down.
Yeah.
Like the situation where you're running away from them to slow them down so you can get away from them. Ideally, instead of that, you would just have something that does damage over time, like a poison capsule or combat bots.
Or combat bots. Combat bots are really, really effective. Probably way more effective than a slowdown capsule. Although I think a slowdown capsule is really cheap. I can't remember. I actually cannot remember what the recipe is.
I think it's actually the same as a poison capsule from memory.
Yeah, I remember poison capsules being pretty cheap too. Anyway, slowdown capsule has multiple parts: the item color, the effect, and the animated sticker that shows on slowed enemies. We recently updated the item icon, which sets some expectation. God, I'm done already. Expectations.
Words are hard.
Yep, words are super hard. For the effect and the sticker, like what color should it be? The poison capsule has already taken blue, green, or brown, and would be very similar to the rocket or nuclear fuel in the icon. So we chose orange. We have this pretty little gif of orange splatter everywhere.
Orange spitagoo. We get our own spitagoo now.
Yeah, we do get spitagoo as well, but
Oh, you know what it is? It's not honey, is it?
That's sort of funny because the current community map's full of bees and the robots are bees, and you could make resources from bees from honey. So yeah,
honey capsule. There you go.
It's the new honey capsule that slows down the enemies. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. They also say it makes a lot of sense to use the same graphics with different tints for the acid sticker from Spitters of Worms. And this was one of those things that, like, I remember the acid getting on you, but I don't remember anything apart from it hanging around your feet. And now
I don't remember it sticking.
Well, they now have this blobby bit that sticks and moves all over the place, and I don't like it. I really don't like it.
I mean, it's not. It does look a little bit off, particularly when the player moves, because it doesn't move with the player. But as long as you're standing still, the blobby bit looks fine. But as soon as the player moves, it doesn't move with the character swaying side to side.
No, and even like the biters, when the biters are moving with the honey capsule, it's sort of whatever. We're gonna leave it there as one of those things that not quite right.
I think at the end of the day, when like this is really zoomed in and you zoom down a little bit more, you won't notice.
Yeah. In the way the slowdown capsule is doing the same to them, they are doing to you, except acid damage. Take that, nature. Crude oil resources. Resources got a high resolution sprites in 15. but we didn't have time for the crude oil spills. The new ones are very similar. They're so similar, I actually think that they're the originals.
Yeah, I actually was trying to work out what the difference is, and I'm not sure.
I think they're a little bit transparent.
Possibly.
Like the one in the
Maybe.
top left, you can sort of see the grass through it. The little shrubby thing.
It still looks mostly like I can't. I'd probably need to see the old and the new side by side, I think.
It's one of those times we could have used really one of those JavaScript slidey things because
Yeah.
I can't tell. I think the old ones were black, and these have some transparency to it, and like maybe they got a little bit more sheen around the edges, so having a
Maybe.
reflection. But
It's probably the same thing, just more pixels or something.
yeah, probably. It's I can't tell. I can't tell, and I can't really say I spent a lot of time staring at oil slicks either. It's only like that's where oil is. It's the pink dots on the map. Let's go that way. And then we have the assembly machine remnants, which you and I have been talking about for a while because they say we've been waiting for the remnants for the assembly machine. Well, yeah, we've been waiting for the remnants for the assembly machines as a plan to get a redesign. It doesn't seem likely we'll be able to finish the assembly machine redesign before 1.0. So we're finally given their own specific remnants at last. Now, you'd been saying that assembly machines were going to get a redesign, and I
thought they were.
No, I'd been saying that they were going to get one, and you'd said they already happened, and here we are with they're not redesigned, and it's not going to happen before 1.0. So it's another thing that's been pushed back for 1.1.
Got pushed back, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they got a few tweaks over the years because the assembly machines used to be a lot more crude looking.
They've definitely got a high resolution pass, and they definitely look a lot better. And hang on, we're going to have this argument no matter what. The green one was always argued as being yellow, and now it's definitely green. So that was finalized, I think, with the latest pass when they redid the colors and stuff. And at the same time, they changed the icon in the inventory, which used to be yellow. Hence, we had the argument about the tier 3 assemblers, whether they're yellow or green. Even though
it's green.
Well, in game they look green, but in your inventory they were yellow. So, something went wrong somewhere along the line.
Blue circuits, purple circuits.
Yeah.
If you're colorblind, I suppose they're both grey circuits then.
Depends on what type of colorblind. So there you go. But yeah, look, they've had a few passes, they've had a few tweaks. I think the biggest thing with the current assemblers is everything on top looks a bit low res and a bit of a mess, and that was probably one of the things they were looking at changing. I remember them mentioning they were going to change the view angle of the assembly machines because they're off according to everything else, right? And they were going to redo the top of the building somehow, some way, some shape. But yeah, now it's not happening. It's one of those 1.1 projects, which, funnily enough, that list is getting a little bit longer as the Friday facts go on.
It's continuing to grow.
Yeah. Landmine remnants. Last missing remnants with the landmine, which didn't have a high resolution until the icon update. So here it is. Why do landmines need remnants? I figure if a landmine has remnants, it didn't work properly the first time.
Well, fundamentally, a landmine, if it's working correctly, it's going to explode.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be any remnants sitting on the ground. There should be nothing left. They should have all gone airborne through a biter and you just got corpses. Yep.
Sure.
Oh, that's pretty much how I want my landmines to work. Just nothing left except dead biters. But yeah, they've got remnants as well. I have already looked on the forums and on Reddit, and so far the only comment that has appeared on the forums, I want to say, is somebody mentioned, the landmines should have some burnt bits around the outside. And I sort of agree. Along with some craters where they were.
Where the exploded hole where the landmine used to be.
Yeah, where the boom boom happened. That's like if I was in charge of the remnants, it would just be like black crater. That's it. When remnants get cleared after, I can't remember. I think it's every 15 minutes. Biters and remnants get cleared off the map.
If it's up to me, there would be an atomic explosion when the mine goes off.
Well, that's when you put down a nuclear power plant, you put fuel in it, and you walk away, and you wait for the biters to come solo. In case you haven't actually done it in game yet, if you hit a nuclear power plant over, I think it's 950 degrees, is it, Mojo?
No, it's 900.
900. Okay, hit a nuclear reactor over 900 degrees, and it gets down to 0 hit points. It sort of melts down.
It explodes.
Really, really well. So, yeah, if you've ever worried about biters coming up and sneaking into the back of your base, just put 4 or 5 nuclear reactors just out past your walls, throw a fuel in each one of them and walk away, and you'll know when the biters arrive. Yeah, you'll definitely kill off the first wave. Anyway, the conclusion with version 15.0, we released the first batch of high-resolution graphics in many entities back in Friday Facts 187, which announced 15 is experimental and presented all of the new graphics. And we stated during 15 stabilization, we'll be adding more high-resolution graphics with the aim to do everything. Now, let's see how that goes. But seeing what we've already done, we're confident we'll get it done sooner or later. As readers of this periodical may have already heard, stuff takes longer than expected a few times. So sooner or later is now 3.5 years from then. There's still more graphical updates coming in the following few weeks. But that's it for the high-resolution updates. And yeah,
one thing I get from that, looking back at that FFF 187, is there's a red desert.
That got removed.
It's still in there. It's just that the red tint was removed, so it's now sort of a brown. Red desert was one of the biggest hypules of.
Well, no. There were two things
15.
with 15: infinite research, because prior to that we didn't have infinite research.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of things to be hyped at for 15, because there was a red desert, and there was the infinite research, the research overhaul.
Well, we had
all the other graphics overhauls.
Going through
nuclear power
from top to bottom. Yeah, we had infinite research. Then we had nuclear power, which was introduced in 15.
Yep.
Prior to that, it was lots and lots of steam engines, or lots and lots and lots of solar panels. They changed over the boilers in 15.
New turbines, new
boilers,
steam engines.
I thought
boilers and steam engines.
I thought the steam engines were the same. They just got a graphics tweak.
They changed it graphics are the same, but it's steam instead of water.
Oh yeah,
and they couldn't delete. They officially couldn't delete. Well, actually, it was sort of fixed in 14, but they couldn't officially take anything that wasn't water.
Yeah, so that was one of the things. In the past, you could heat any liquid and run it through a steam turbine to create power, and then from that point on, they changed it so steam turbines only took steam, nothing else. And you had to put water into a boiler to create steam, not oil or lubricant or heavy oil or, yeah. And they made steam a new entity or a new liquid rather than in the past it was just hot water.
It's interesting. You also compare, there's a graphic in 187 comparing the older style of Assembly Machine 3 with the current one. Visually, it's the same one.
Whereabouts are there?
It's graphically, it's the same one. This is where the high resolution assembly machine came from, or one of them. I think this is the third one.
I don't know. Assembly machines have been tweaked.
They've been touched a few times.
Yeah, tweaked and updated a few times. But it's definitely gone more. It's brightened up with everything else, and now you can definitely see it's green, whereas in the past there was ambiguous and arguing over green or yellow. Yeah.
You can see where the green and yellow came from, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new ore graphics were introduced in 15 as well. 15 brought a lot of stuff.
Didn't we also get oil tankers?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got oil tankers. Well, we already had the pump, but yeah, now you can hook the pump straight to a train.
That pump was 15.
Oh, you mean the graphic pump?
Before, in 14, it was a 1x1 pump, which was really anemic.
Oh, I remember that one. But yeah, we got oil tankers back when they used to have 3 different liquids they could carry. Yep, at 25,000 units of liquid per tank. That got nerfed.
Up to a total of 75,000.
Yeah. That's a long time ago.
Programmable speaker.
Oh,
That was
God.
about came in 15.
Again, that was something heavily hyped, and then it showed up, and there's now many, many multiplayer public servers that run all the time actually have a command built in for admins to kill and destroy the speaker and also name the player who built and put down the entity. Because it's been a bit of a nuisance with map-wide sirens going off because somebody built a speaker. Yeah. But yeah, back to Friday Facts 355. That very first line. With 1.0, we're trying to be as complete as feasible. I've noticed more and more things are getting pushed to 1.1. And don't forget, they did move the timeline forward to release earlier. And yeah, I'm now thinking maybe the original release date was a good one.
Yeah, it was going to conflict with Cyberpunk.
Which got moved back anyway, but of course they didn't know that. But yeah.
And realistically, they couldn't change it once they already said they were going to bring it forward.
No, after you bring it forward, you can't push it back again. They're stuck with the release
date. You can't
date.
keep moving it around.
Yeah, they're stuck with the release date. They've got to do it, but it means that, yeah, things are slipping. And I can see 1.1 maybe adding some features, like a blueprint library that works, and a whole bunch of things that just didn't quite make it, like, the assembly machine redesign and, a few other things that just, didn't quite make it into the final release. But with that said, I think that's it for Friday Facts 355, right?
Yeah, that's almost it. There was one other thing, and I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, the oil puddles. It's just a crisper version of the old one.
Oh, you found an old one in
they're just low. It's just more pixelated. There's no transparency on these or anything, as far as I can tell.
Okay, I was hoping Friday Facts 187 happened to have one. Nope. Yeah. Look. So not even the sheen around the edge is still there on the old one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just more pixelated.
There you go.
I went through 12, 14, and 16, and yeah, they're just more pixelated.
There you go. Oh, it shows how much attention we both of us pay to oil slicks. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have an oil puddle which doesn't have a pump jack on it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you just need the pink things on the map, and you march in the direction of the pink things, you put down some pump jacks, you bring it all back to base, you crank out some plastic, you get red circuits, you get modular armor, you get some robots in the air, you're good to go. Anyway, with that said, that's it. Friday Facts 355, done and dusted. Couple of weeks to 1.0 comes out. With all that said, we're out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in next week's Friday Facts. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.